Hi everyone, and welcome to another Fat for Weight Loss video. In this video, I'm showing you all of the things that I usually get from the shops to shop for myself and for my partner. Now, I am doing the ketogenic diet and my partner is not doing the ketogenic diet. So how do you shop for both of those things at the same time? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I do it and how you can do it as well. So let's get started. So the first few things that I usually get when I go to the shops is, some type of vegetable, some type of protein, some type of fats, and a few other bits and pieces. And it's really helpful to try and map out exactly what you're going to do for that week. But it's also, pretty good to just have a general idea on what you might be cooking, because it makes it much easier when you go to the shops and trying to pick out things. Now, there's another way to do this, and you just basically buy what's on special and you make keto recipes from that. Now, I'm currently doing a keto recipe book, so I need to buy pretty specific ingredients, but you can do whatever you like. These are just some little showcases of what you can get from Coles here in Australia. And yeah, so let's dive straight into it. So let's start off with the all-important butter. Now, Kerrygold butter here in Australia is usually about $6 for 250 grams. So that's half a pound of butter is $6. Now, that's pretty expensive, and I generally don't get that much of Kerrygold because it is that expensive. But this was 25% off, so it was only $4.50. So I got a block of that, and I also got a block of Jeff's salted butter as well. This one here. It is, I don't know whether it's a grass-fed butter, but most butters here in Australia are pasture-raised anyway, so it's a pretty good one, and it's about $2.50. So that's also good for half a pound of butter. Now, I generally try and get some sort of barbecue chicken. Now, the barbecue chickens here in Australia are not free range generally. So for an extra $1, I could get the free range version of the barbecue chicken. Now, having a barbecue chicken around is great for just being able to throw something together really, really quickly, something like a lunch or something like a snack, or you can just snack on this chicken here, and you can mix it with butter or mix it with some olive oil or sesame seed oil is really, really nice with some paprika on top. So barbecue chickens are a good one to go to. I've got some eggs here. So I generally always buy free range eggs. The reason I do that is because the other eggs are, laid from barn-laid chickens, and even though they're cheaper, they are not worth it in my opinion. So definitely get free range eggs. Free range here in Australia is pretty cheap. Now, there's lots of different quality of free range eggs. I generally get, the home brand free range eggs or the Coles brand because they are cheaper than some of the other brands of free range eggs, but definitely the other brands of free range eggs would be much better quality than these ones. There is actually an egg tracker that you can get as an app on your phone, and I will link to that in the description. And you can basically check the quality of the free range eggs that you are purchasing, or the quality of any eggs. So eggs are really, really good on the ketogenic diet. Now, I got a 500 or 600 mils of thickened cream. Now, thickened cream is exactly the same as normal cream or heavy whipping cream, but it's just had some gelatin added to it, so it's a little bit thicker. This was about $2.50 I think for this. You can buy normal just cream as well, but it's usually double the price, so I generally buy this one. And I had a quick look at the back, and the fat percentage for each of them is near identical. This one is just slightly less. And I also had a look at the carbs, and they're exactly the same. So there's no difference in buying thickened cream here in Australia. I got some pork belly. So this week I'm going to be making some pork belly, fried pork belly with some onions, and that is going to be super delicious. Now, I bought this pre-cut belly roast, and it's basically just boneless pork belly, right? There was already pre-cut boneless pork that was cut, lengthways like that, and it was $25 a kilo. And I walked past this one, and this one was $15 a kilo. So for a little bit more, this was about $5 more, but I ended up getting twice the amount. So that is a really good deal. And pork belly is such a great thing to make on the ketogenic diet, and make for anyone who is, not following the ketogenic diet either, because there's such a nice crackling on top. So that's a good one. Now I'm racing against the clock here because in Australia all of this stuff gets pretty warm pretty quickly. So I'm gonna get this in the fridge as quick as possible. But here I got some pork and beef mince. Now it's 70% pork and 30% beef. This mince is really good. I'm going to be making pork larb this week. So that's basically like a almost like a Thai Vietnamese dish that is pork and lots of chives and things like that. So I'm going to be making that this week with this mince. So that's a really good thing to buy. What else did I get? So I got some fish as well. So I just got some fish from the deli, and basically the deli here in Australia is that you go up and you ask exactly how much you want, or they've got fillets out on ice and you just ask them for that. So I got some pink ling fillets. Now I got about 200 and what was that? About 300 grams of that, and I'm going to be making Thai fish cakes with this. So that is really good. That costs $5. So it's important to get fish in your diet as well on the ketogenic diet, because eating lots of full fat meats is great, but fish has a lot of great omega-3s in it. So that's a good one to get. All right, now let's jump into the vegetables. So I got some eggplant here. Eggplant's really great for making any sort of spaghetti or noodles, or even baked eggplant. Super versatile. If you don't like eggplant, that's totally fine as well. My partner doesn't actually eat that many eggplants, so it's usually just me eating this, which is great. Avocados are the bomb, but they are expensive. So I only bought 2 avocados, and that ended up being $4 for 2 of them, and the seeds in them are pretty big. So they're relatively expensive, but they are such a good source of monounsaturated fat, so it's good to buy them even though they are expensive. I got some tomatoes. So these are vine ripened tomatoes, and these tomatoes are super delicious. Now I know that there are some carbs in tomatoes, but I feel like tomatoes are worth it in my in my experience. Any carbs from vegetables I think are totally fine as long as they're grown above the ground. That's my principle anyway. So some really nice tomatoes there. I got some green beans. Now I generally don't usually put things in plastic, but beans are a little bit hard to avoid. So I got some green beans here, and they are great. You just chop the ends off them and you can put them with any sort of meats. Now when I do use, I try and reuse these plastic bags, so that if I separate out some bacon, if I buy a kilo of bacon, I usually just separate it out and use this plastic bag to freeze 250 gram lots of it. So reusing the plastic bags. Now I also got some iceberg lettuce. Now iceberg lettuce, nutritionally isn't that great because there's not much to it, but iceberg lettuce makes great wraps, or anything that you can fill it with. So iceberg lettuce makes great hamburger rolls, makes great wraps, great hamburger buns, I don't know, whatever. I'm going to be using them for the pork larb to use them as a little bit of a container. So each leaf of iceberg lettuce works out really well for that, and iceberg lettuce is cheap. So that is a good option. You can also get any other sort of lettuce as well, that's fine. Now, because we live in an apartment, I don't have enough room to actually grow a lot of herbs. So I end up buying a fair amount of coriander. Now, some people don't like coriander and they can think it tastes like soap. And there's actually, they've worked out that some people have a different receptor in their tongue that doesn't like one of the active ingredients in coriander, and that's why it can taste like soap for some people. But here in Australia, we love to use coriander because we have a lot of Thai and Vietnamese and Chinese influence, and there's a lot of room for very fresh herbs, and coriander is just a great herb to use on pretty much anything. So I got 2 of those, and it's great to use as a food blogger because you can make anything look much greener if you use coriander. A lot of butchers use parsley to make things look green as well, but after a while, I used to work in a butcher's for a long time, and parsley gets to you, and parsley it doesn't taste that fantastic really. I got some spring onions, so some people might call these shallots, but whatever you like to call them. They are delicious, and they make things taste so fresh that it is unbelievable. So spring onions is a great buy. I can't remember how much they were. I think they were $2 maybe for that. Now I got some potatoes. Now I don't eat potatoes because I'm on the ketogenic diet, but my partner does. So when I get potatoes like this, I usually get only 3 potatoes so that, you know, we can make mash or, you know, potato chips or something like that. I can still make that for her, and I can have all of the veggies that, you know, I've just outlined before. Potatoes for her are fine because, you know, she's eating potatoes, and I get these little things of milk here. So if I do make mash, because I don't drink milk either, having little milks like this on the go is fantastic because you need to use a little bit of milk in mashed potato. And if I open one, I can generally keep one open for around a week, maybe just under. So having one of those available in the fridge is really, really handy, and you don't have to keep this in the fridge. So I know it is Tetra Pak, but it makes less wastage, and, you know, we don't have to buy milk all the time because it's not necessary. Now, some coconut cream. So I'm going to be making some coconut ice cream, and this coconut cream here is really, really good. Now, you need to be careful of some of the coconut creams because they have a lot less fat in them. You want to get the full fat coconut cream. Now, this is unsweetened coconut cream as well, so there's no sugar in it, hardly. There is 4 grams of carbohydrates per 80 ml serving, so the sugars in there, it's basically all just coconut, you know, and there is a little bit of coconut water in there, so I'd say that's where the sugars come from. But coconut cream is fantastic, especially if you're trying to do things dairy-free on the ketogenic diet. That is a great way to do it, using coconut cream instead of normal cream. But even getting a good mixture of both is nice too, so very useful in curries as well. Now I have some limes here. I did have another lime somewhere, it must be in the bag. But limes are really, really good to make things taste amazing as well. So lime and pepper chicken, lime on the pork belly, lime as a topping on anything, lime in an electrolyte drink. So I like making this electrolyte drink, which is basically a squeeze of lime and some diet salt, which is a mix of sodium and potassium. And that's pretty much it. And I drink that and maybe some fizzy water, but, you know, limes are really, really good. Now, there is a few other things here that are not necessary. There's the other lime. Calorie Clever Miracle Rice. Now, this stuff is really, really good. If you're making something like a curry or anything that does have rice in it, so maybe I might use them for the pork lard as well, this stuff is fantastic. And I'll open it for you, but basically what it is I'll show you the inside. It's in this white, you know, it's already in this liquid. Now, it is a root. It is, what root is it? It's cognac root. Yeah, it's cognac root, and it comes in this package like this, and it's already like little tiny bits of noodles, I guess, that are cut up, and they're in this liquid. So all you need to do is drain the liquid from this, cook them in a frying pan for about 8 minutes, like storing them around, and it becomes very similar to rice. Now, you can also add this to any other sort of mince as well to increase the fiber content, because this is practically 0 carbs. Because it has so much fiber in it, 0 net carbs, sorry. Because this has so much fiber in it, it is a really great source of fiber, and makes it taste like, you know, you can get noodles like this as well. They might call them miracle noodles. But, you know, this is a great form of carb replacement, if you will. And, you know, super versatile, so I like to get that. Now, I got some no added sugar dark chocolate, and it is peppermint flavored. Now, it comes in little individual packets, and it was $4 for this thing, which is about 100 grams, so it's almost like a block of chocolate that you would buy normally. But per serving, it has 2 grams of carbohydrates and 1.9 grams of fiber. So that's pretty good. That's under 0.5 net carbs per serving, which is fantastic. And it just takes a little bit of that sweet edge off, or sugar craving off, if you do have that sort of thing. So buying this sugar-free chocolate with a little bit of peppermint is just fantastic if you do crave some chocolate every now and then. Now, I did see this one in Coles as well. Now, this is I don't know whether anyone has tried what's called iced coffee, but iced coffee is, you know, prior to keto, I used to not drink a lot of iced coffee, but it was something that was pretty delicious. And iced coffee is basically milk and coffee, and it's sweetened. So you get this crazy mix of sweetened coffee milk drink that is just delicious. And I saw this one today, and it is iced coffee almond milk, and it is 99% sugar free. So I'll just read you the carbohydrate content. Per serving is less than a gram of carbohydrate. So it's almond milk, and it has erythritol and stevia glycosides, which is exactly the same as what Natvia has in it. And that's great. Like, and it has Arabica coffee powder, so it is powdered coffee. And a few other things. There's a little bit of vegetable gum in there, but basically that might be to just thicken it. So I haven't tried this before, but I will let you know how that goes. That is going to be pretty delicious. And because my partner still eats Jats, I still buy these for her. I try my hardest not to eat them, but having these things in your household is not that hard when you get used to it. You can't just go out and buy everything keto and then expect you to be able to go out in the normal world and still be able to eat keto. You need to train yourself to not eat those things even while you're at home. So it's important to buy those things for the people who aren't following the ketogenic diet, because you don't want to deprive them. You want to be able to live in a household where everyone can survive, and you want to be able to cook all different sorts of things. So knowing how to make mashed potato, even if you eat the ketogenic diet, is a vital cooking skill. So you need to be able to master that. Even though you don't eat it, some people in the household might. So what I'm trying to showcase here is that you don't need to buy absolutely everything keto for everyone in the house, and you don't need to feel restricted in that sense. Now, I'm not going to eat Jats, but I am going to try out this almond milked iced coffee. You can just buy some other things that make it really, really easy and make being on the ketogenic diet super easy. Now, none of those ingredients there are really that far out of whack. I bought all of those from Coles here in Australia, and I'm sure you'd be able to find similar ingredients in your local store as well. So I hope some of that was really really helpful for you and helped you make better choices when you go shopping. Try and avoid the middle aisles as much as possible, but things like the almond milk are definitely in non-perishable aisles, and just try and keep things keto, but it's not a hard and fast rule for everyone in the house. So you need to be able to make things that everyone can eat, and make the type of keto that you can eat. So out of those ingredients for this week, I'm going to be making pork larb, I'm going to be making Thai fish cakes, I'm going to be making a keto bacon, lettuce and tomato sandwich. So I've got some keto bread in the fridge ready to go for that. I'm going to be making some Japanese ramen. So this rice, or even I've got some other miracle noodles, are going to be fantastic for that. And I think that's probably going to be about it. So I hope this video's made life a little bit easy for you. That's what I try and do here. I try and showcase things that make your life a little bit easier, and also showcase a little bit of my life as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you consider subscribing below. Smash the like button if you so desire, and I will see you in the next video.